A cluster of people filled the whole parking lot of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, screaming, crying, and panicking. The ambulance wheeled in a little girl who looked no more than 6, bleeding massively from the head, her eyes wide open with no pupils, and surprisingly, still has a slight heartbeat. Inside, the stage where the animatronics perform had a puddle of blood. There, standing by the blood, stood the animatronic female pirate fox, who they call Foxy. She was shaking of malfunction, blood covered all over her mouth, but her eye had a look of fear and innocence. Sitting across from her stood the security guard, looking like he could pass out any moment, confused and disbelief of what he just witnessed. He and Foxy were just staring at each other. The guard just keeps shaking his head while backing away. Foxy glitches as she tries to speak. Then she just collapsed, with the side of her head lying in the puddled blood, breathing like a child. 27 years had passed since then. Now we focus on a little farmer's market called Margaret's. Never overly busy and ran by a successful British family, the Elliots. It was a mundane day. The security guard was sitting in a folded-up metal chair against the advertisement board, playing with her taser out of boredom. Looks to be in her mid-20s, very slender, with her thighs not touching, long, messy burgundy hair in a ponytail, her cheeks filled with freckles, in boot-cut jeans and a dress shirt, and a badge with Officer M. Schmidt printed on it. Her name is Molly Schmidt. At work, and rarely ever smile on her face. Molly's boredom was about to fade when she sees a suspicious-looking man just moseying down the produce. He first went to the peanut barrels and started to fill his pants pocket with peanuts, then to the coffee dispenser to fill his whole hood of his sweatshirt with Java Delight coffee. Also, he took a 1 pound bag of gummy sharks and hid it in the pocket of the front of his sweatshirt. Finally, he took a Honeycrisp apple, wiped it off on his sleeve, and started heading out the door. Before he headed out, Molly came in front of him. "Excuse me," she said. "Aren't you going to pay for those?" The man laughed nervously and asked, "For what?" Molly glared at him for a moment. She then puts her hands in her pants pockets and took out 2 handfuls of peanuts, and then she takes the coffee beans out of his hood and the bag of gummy bears out of the pocket of his sweatshirt. Then she points to the apple in his hand and says, "That too." The man laughs. "This whole thing? Theft is theft, sir," Molly barked at him. "You either pay for that or you put it back. Which will it be?" The man grins and laughs at Molly's flustered face. "What if I choose neither?" he said like a smartass. "What are you going to do about it?" Molly just glared at him, not believing that he is sassing an officer. Then he takes a bite of the apple. Molly tackles the man to the ground, pinching his cheeks, trying to get the apple out. "Spit it out right now!" Molly yells, "or you'll be arrested for theft!" The man kept the apple piece in his mouth for dear life. Molly tried to handcuff him, but he bumps against her. The handcuffs went flying across the cashier's. She then goes for her pepper spray and found out it was empty. Out of options, Molly then got her taser and tased him until he became unconscious. Molly pants heavily after that battle. She walks over to pick up her handcuffs. She kneels down to pick them up and then came across a pair of shiny loafers. She looks up and saw her boss, crossed-armed and not believing what she has done. "Molly Schmidt," he mutters under his voice. "You've really gone too far." Molly couldn't believe that he's upset of trying to protect the store from theft. "Sir," Molly explains, He was committing theft. What else was I supposed to do?
You should have just grabbed him and took him to my office. I would have known a less abusive way to settle this situation.
Abusive? Molly snaps. What the fuck? I'm just being an officer.
No, you're not. Her boss tells her. You're being an aggressive bitch. In fact, I have to let you go. Molly Schmidt, you're fired.
Molly chuckles with disbelief and says, You're fucking shitting with me right now. You can't fire me for doing my job. The boss points to the exit and yells, Leave. I don't want to see you anymore. In fact, you are dismissed from ever stepping in here again. Molly grunts and laughs. You know what? She says, I do not need this job. I have an honors degree, so fuck you, sir. As Molly heads out an older lady comes in and Molly tells her, Hey, the chocolate frosting in the bakery section, it's cow shit. Then Molly left with her golden coat and black scarf. Molly walks with her back against the wind, thinking about how much of an ass her boss was when she thought she was doing something heroic. She got a free paper from the newsstand and ordered her dinner from a food truck. Then Molly heads back to her apartment. Surprisingly a neat and well-organized place. She puts on her pajamas and sits on the sofa to eat her 2 double bean burritos she had ordered. After she consumed over 900 calories of dinner, she heads to the bathroom to use it and brush her teeth. Then, when she was done using the bathroom, she stares at her portrait from her college graduation. She was an honor student from the Police Academy of Justice. She sighs in disbelief that she has done so well in school but failed in the real world. Fired for the 4th time in a row, she sighs to herself. Then the phone rings. Molly answers the phone exhaustedly. Yeah?
Molly, is that you out here?
Asked the voice on the phone. It was her billionaire father, Elmer Schmidt, who lives in Scotland and owns a very successful gold well.
How's my daughter doing? He asked.
Why would you care? Answers Molly. I'm tired, I'm gassy, and I had a really shitty day today.
Fired again, I see,
said Elmer.
No surprise to me. I knew from the start that you would do well for the Elliott family. I think you're better off living in a television box behind a drive, eating all the rotting veggies they throw out.
It wasn't my fault, though, snaps Molly. The prick was committing theft, and my ex-boss said that I was being too abusive. Elmer sighs.
All the time, I just wonder, what did you do for the academy that made you an honor student? They're all a bunch of idiots. That's all I could think about.
Molly was being annoyed with all the stuff her own father is telling her. Also not surprised because he never supported her. Go fuck with your French maids, she grunts to him. Then she finally hangs up the phone. She went back to the sofa and started to read the help wanted ads in the paper. There were no jobs for security except for one. Molly cringed at the image that went along with the ad. A furry robotic teddy bear in a top hat and bow tie. Night watch, she said to herself. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. She read that it was a 7-hour shift starting at midnight, all about watching cameras all night long, and that she needs to speak to a Mr. Fitzgerald. Well, Molly sighs. Not really my cup of coffee, but what the hell. Molly circled the ad in a thick red marker and headed off to bed. At Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria that night, there was no security guard. The animatronics were all wandering about the place like wild animals. A bunny named Bonnie and a chicken named Chica just running around playing a somewhat friendly game of tag like sisters. A big bear named Freddy just watches them with enjoyment. Then he walks to the purple curtain with stars all over it.
Foxy,
Freddy flirts.
Are you still here, dear?
Foxy just sits there and gave Freddy a glare. What else would he be? She sighs.
That's good,
Laughs Freddy.
Just stay in there like a good girl and I might reward you later.
He winks at her, then walks away. Foxy just cringed with disgust. Freddy! Flirts Bonnie. The whole place is to ourselves tonight. What you want to do? Go to the kitchen and eat all the leftover pizza, says Chica. Bonnie gave Chica a look. What? Said Chica. I'm hungry. That's no surprise, sighs Bonnie.
Patience, my girls,
Freddy says calmly.
Don't worry your pretty little heads. Our next night guard will come tomorrow.
Bonnie cheers. That's right, after all.
Yes, dear.
Freddy grins with glowing red eyes.
It's